What is up, guys? Halloween Hunters here. About to drop the engine in. It is the next day. One of my friends isn't off till like 5 o'clock, but my other friend should be able to come over within the hour. So far I've been doing everything myself. I got the transmission bracket ready down there with the bolts and the jack. I'm going to try to get the drive shaft in the transmission as we're dropping it. It's a little bit tough, but what I did was I lifted up the back end sitting on jack stands so that the rear end is free, so I can spin the drive shaft to make sure that the teeth go in correctly. Got the starter wires all right there, the negative, the positive, starter to the key wires. Grounded that back to the frame, although I might move the ground later. Got rid of some extra PCV BS that we don't need. The charcoal canister I took out. I cut that breather line that we don't need. Took off the other breather line that we don't need. There's our gas lines. Everything's ready. I mean, the engine was in the car and almost running before, so everything's here. It's just dropping the engine back in and hooking everything back up. Hooked up the transmission by myself. Like I said, you guys, I do a lot of the building of transmission connecting in my bed of my truck. To me, that's the easiest way for doing it by yourself. You just lay it in, put your pan down, the suspension of your truck will kind of hold it in place. You take all the bolts out, you can wiggle and pull the transmission off, and also line it up to the dowels that are in there. And once you thread it in, it'll pull it close, and then you put on your little cover right there, your dust cover that connects your trans to your motor there and keeps dust out of your flywheel and your torque converter and stuff. No fluid goes in there, so no gaskets or anything needed. It's just to keep dust and dirt out of there. Another thing I did, take your oil filter off. It'll get in the way. Take as much off kind of the accessories as you can. It'll all go on after. I put the starter on because it's not in the way, and it's a lot easier to have this on already. This header, I have it loose, as you see, to give us a little bit of wiggle room on this side. If we have to, we'll take this one off and install it after the engine, but I'm hoping we can get it in with the engine on. Redid the transmission gasket. It was leaking a little bit, so put some gasket maker and a new gasket on there. We should be good. I can spin this motor right here by hand, which is awesome. The other one couldn't even spin with a breaker bar. Now I can spin the engine by hand. It's crazy. We actually have a dipstick now, thank the Lord. And we're ready to go. This one I'm leaving tight because this is the one that we have our dipstick in. So I want to keep this one tight. If we have to, we'll take off the other one, but we should be good. And everything is ready to go. I got all my tools here that we need. Motor mount bolts are 9/16. It's a 5/8 for those bolts. Header bolts are 3/8. And that's about it. We're gonna get this thing going. Isn't she a beauty? Now, this is a motor right here, guys. This is a big boy right here. Big boy, the Caddy Daddy motor right here. Hopefully I can get a little something of us dropping it in. But once it's dropped in, it's just about maybe a half hour of us hooking everything back up, top off all the fluids, and this bad boy's ready to start, and we're gonna try to break in the cam today if we can. And once the cam is broken in, after the 15 minutes of break-in, we'll drain out that oil, put the new oil in, and see if she'll move. We'll put it into gear and see what happens. So hopefully everything works out.
Yeah.